So I'm about to start again. What's good? Happy. I know. Tilted, but it's okay. What's good, guys? I'm back here again. Let's look at the results from the last poll that I did. Um, on here, I did a video, not a video, but a post on YouTube doing a poll asking you guys what businesses that you want to do in Liberia, and you should post it. And obviously, I'll give my opinion on it. You know, whether it's a good idea or not, or just my general opinion based on research and my personal experience in Liberia, and also just doing business in Liberia to kind of give you a feedback. Also, during this live, I also will encourage you guys to also put in the chat some businesses that you're thinking about doing or have questions about and things like that. Again, at any point during live videos, it's okay to ask any questions. Anything doesn't have to be the exact topic we're talking about now, and I'll be happy to ask that. So I just want to say happy Tuesday, I believe it is. And first, before we start though, there is this song, this Liberian song, that if you're into Liberian music, you probably would have heard it. It's not a new song. I think it's an old, well, probably a few years now. But I'm gonna play that song. Hopefully, I don't get copyright. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get copyright strike on this YouTube channel, on this episode or live. But what's good, guys? I see some of you guys are on now. If you can, when you hop on the live, please just say hello, say what's good. Normally it's good for me because I'm on this side and I can see the number of people who are watching, but I don't know you guys'. It's always good to say what's up so I can know you guys' name. And also, I know a lot of you usually come on live and I'm on live too, so it's good to kind of interact and say what's up. Before we go forward though, let's do this here. I'm gonna play this song that I really like. It's a Liberian song. I like it, and it's not new, but let's see here. Oh, Kobasi featuring Stunner, L.I.B. Jude. I think it's pretty dope. So let's see. My favorite part coming, my favorite part coming. Checkmate. 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 Yo, I love this song. I don't know how old this song is, but I can bet money no other Jew found more than L.I.B. Jew. That's what he said. Alright guys, so I just thought I was a dope music. Let's get into it. What's good? Jay, Bala. Let me lower this here. Jay, Can you guys hear me though? That's the first thing. Last time I was on, I think when I lower my computer, some of you guys can hear me. But if you can hear me, just say I can hear you, or do a thumbs up or whatnot, or say what's good. I want to give a shout out here to Jay Bala, first commenter on this live video today. Jay said, first time watching your show, interested in doing business in Liberia, but need some guidance. Great way to start. So now, like I said, I posted a video last a few days ago. I was gonna do this live on Friday, but I didn't get the time to do it. So I'm re-answering your question. A lot of you guys sent me emails and also commented under the post I made about businesses you're looking to do in Liberia, and just kind of want to get a general feedback on that. Before we get into that, I will start with the live comment here from Jay Bala, who said, first time watching, interested in doing business in Liberia and need guidance, right? I'm glad to be able to at least assist as well. Now, Jay Bala, what business exactly are you looking to start, right? Whilst you wait for that answer, whilst I wait for that answer, I'm going to get into other responses people wrote on the post. So if you could let me know what kind of business you're thinking about, just general idea. It doesn't have to be your exact business plan or your model, but just in general, what kind of business you're thinking about doing and where in Liberia you're looking to do business. Now, the reason why this live I believe is important is because of this is a key factor in determining people moving back to Liberia. Number one. Number two, I mean, that's one of the only way you can reinvest back in Liberia, other than charity work and stuff like that, nonprofit, right? One of the biggest way you can invest in Liberia is through business, because then you can establish a business in Liberia and you can employ local Liberians and reinvest, whatever money you get from your business back into Liberia as well. So that's kind of one of the biggest way to reinvest in Liberia. That's why I'm making a lot about businesses in Liberia. So if you're on here and you have any business idea you're thinking about doing in Liberia, or somebody close to you that is thinking about doing it who have asked you, so just let me know. So Jay Bala said, I'm not sure, thinking about real estate or fuel station or maybe restaurant. Okay, so let's go into that. Let's talk about that a little bit, and I'll get into the questions from you guys' response from last week. All three things are not bad, right? I'll touch base on all of them briefly. So all three things are not bad. Thinking about real estate. Now, we are into real estate business in Liberia right now. Most of you guys probably already know. Real estate is one of the most, if you do it right, with the right timing, right investment, right idea, right business model plan, it's one of the most lucrative, one of the most sound business in any part of the world. Real estate has made more people money than any other business on earth. All of your people who started in something else that started making money invested into real estate. All of your millionaires and billionaires who are making money other than Amazon CEO and Tesla CEO and stuff like that, they are from real estate, right? Real estate has made more people money than any other business. So real estate is not a bad thing at all to do. And I'll say this, like I mentioned the last time, when we Liberians are doing businesses in Liberia, we tend to, and if we feel like the business is going to be a good idea, we tend to like to keep it a secret. But like I said again, I'm on this channel for a reason, right? I'm on here to share ideas. So I will tell you, real estate business is one of the best businesses you can do in Liberia if you do it the right way and you have the right target audience. That's what we're doing now. I don't mind sharing some of what we're doing, my ideas and stuff like that. It doesn't matter, man. It can be me and 500 other people doing real estate in Liberia. We will all still be successful because there's a lack of housing market in Liberia. Just a tremendous loophole in that sector, right? That needs to be filled. So definitely real estate business is a good idea. Jay Bala. So again, it just depends on your model, what you're doing, what kind of houses you're building. Now, most people still real estate in Liberia. Most people are thinking about apartment buildings and guest houses and stuff like that, which is not a bad idea. However, there are other more lucrative and more sound business model in real estate that you can do, and there's a lot of spaces for it. Now, let's look at the trend, right? First of all, the number of people that are moving to Liberia are increasing every year. We know that. You can tell. You yourself and people around you, you see all the time people are thinking about moving back. And it's not just Liberia, right? It's Africa as a whole. Africa has come to a point where people all over the world has recognized the potential, right? You have CEOs of companies, you have Twitter CEO and people like that are moving back to Liberia, right? You have what's his name? This Sky. I keep forgetting the internet name, but like you know, is it Tesla, Elon Musk? Or they're doing a universal internet, right? And mainly again for developing countries, where you can still have internet service that's not being provided by a local provider, but more from a satellite. And most people are using this in Liberia now, where you can be in Liberia and have really fast internet and not use Orange or Lone Star. You can get that Starlink internet, right? And it's global. You can go anywhere in the world, any part of Liberia. You go in the forest, the bush, anywhere, you still get fast internet. So all of these things are coming into play now after people have started going to Africa and realizing this is a huge potential, right? Developed country, the amount of people who own iPhone in the continent of Africa is amazing. A huge number of people. There's a big market for certain things that has to do with technology in Africa. And I tie that back to Liberia, right? So to answer your question, what I'm trying to say is with technology, people are the world has become small. People are more closer than we think, right? You and somebody, they're in Liberia, you're in the diaspora, 6, 7, 8, 10,000 miles away, but it feels like you guys are close. You can see that person daily. You can live chat with them. You can see what they're doing today, so it feels like they're closer to you. So the real estate business is a great business model. Let's say you build something modern, you're targeting certain type of audience. Okay, the original point I was trying to get at is people are moving back, people are opening businesses in Liberia. More and more immigrants that are in the diaspora are moving back to their home country. It's more peaceful, it's more stress free. Most of us in the diaspora we're going through a lot of stress daily. I mean, your daily life, your bills, your dad, the economy, the inflation, jobs, and I mean, you guys all know nowadays you have a 2 bedroom apartment, you're paying $1,600, $1,700, right? Especially if you don't have a good credit and you can buy a home where you get a lower interest rate, you will have to be renting, and we know renting now comes with a lot of headaches and things like that, right? And rents are now even skyrocketing, right? The rental market is being used as an investment tool, right? These companies, investment groups are buying up real estate, apartment buildings, and renovating and hacking the price up to make more money off of it, right? So that's all of these things are happening here in the diaspora. So more and more people are moving back. It's not just Liberian. More and more people are moving back to where they came from. They save money, they go back. So what I'm trying to say is in the real estate sector, there is commercial real estate. A lot of people are not doing that in Liberia, right? There are a few places where you can rent a space and things like that, but most of these commercial real estate are not being targeted to a specific kind of industry. It's merely just a big warehouse people rent for a store. Most people, the businesses that people are doing in Liberia are opening stores. However, there are other kind of businesses you can build spaces for, office building, this and like somebody even asked for working from home. People are working from home, different kind of businesses that you can set up in Liberia that people can rent your space. So commercial real estate is pretty good because then people do have a little bit more money to spend, right? I've said this on this channel and other podcasts about rental units. Renting, building real estate and renting it, apartment buildings and guest houses is okay. It's not bad. It's more of a long-term investment. It's more something you have to be involved in. It's something that you're going to get your return on your investment over a longer period of time compared to, let's say, you build a commercial space. Most people who are renting commercial spaces in Liberia are spending a lot more money than people who are renting houses. The housing market in Liberia, people are not willing to spend more than $300-$400. That's kind of like the top line housing unit, right? So like I said, again, imagine you built your home, a nice one, modding, right, for about 50, 60,000, including everything, furnishing, all of that stuff. Not furnishing, but fitting, yard work, landscaping, and everything, including your cost, your opportunity cost, meaning the amount of money you lost building a home because you have to go to Liberia and leave time, leave work, all of that stuff, everything combined. The number of years it's going to take you to get that money back is going to be a lot longer, right? So there are other aspects of real estate that you can get into that's more lucrative than guest houses or renting. Those ones are good if you want to have a portfolio, right? You want to have something you can hang on to, make some money, maybe something passed on to your kids and stuff like that. That's going to be around for a longer time. Then you can do that. But let's talk about other things you said. So you also mentioned fuel station. That's one thing too that I strongly believe, and I mentioned it on my the other live. I said that's something I'm thinking about doing. Again, guys, whatever business I'm thinking about doing, I'm sharing it with you guys. It don't matter. I'm not gonna keep nothing secret and all of that. This is what this channel is about. This is what makes any society progress when people share ideas and people. You think of something, you keep it to yourself. I know I'm not the only one who thought about fuel station, and you just mentioned it. So I'm glad. I also know that other people are thinking about it as well. That's a great business idea in Liberia. Now I mentioned the other time the highway that's being built and the other highways that are being built in Africa. There's an actual movement or actual let's say initiative that's going on in Africa where they're connecting all these African countries, especially with free trade in West Africa, right? You will in the next 5 to 10 years, to 10 years, you will be able to drive from Liberia to almost any West African countries. So that's a great place now to start looking for good areas that you can get a gas station and things like that. Now, again, man, I'll have to make separate videos on each of these things because it gets very in depth. Because a business idea is one thing, but your environment, right, is another thing. So that's why when people are opening businesses in a certain area, they do a market research. They do market research. You have to research the culture, the environment, just the life of the people, because all of that takes place. I'll give you an example. Target is a big company. Target is huge. Target is multi-billion dollars company, one of the most successful companies here in America. But years back, Target went and opened, I don't know how many number of stores in Canada, thinking, well, it's Canada, people live there, right? But they didn't do a lot of research in the culture of Canada, the market, and what the people value, their goals, the habits. They didn't do that. They established a business, as Target did, and within a short less than a year, they closed down all their stores, losing billions of dollars, right? So same thing. Same thing with Liberia. That's why I do this live. You can have a business idea, but if you don't know the fabrics of Liberian culture, the interaction, how people think, how to behave, their habits, if you don't know that, you just think a business idea is good, you open it there, it's not going to survive, right? So that's why I like to do these live so we can talk about it and kind of, from somebody who is there in Liberia like every weekend basically, and studying these things and doing business there myself, right? To kind of give you a feedback on that. So gas station, good idea. That's something you can look into. Get a good area. This one has to be progressive. It has to be future forward, right? You have to think ahead. Meaning you have to just find areas. It's more of a little bit of a longer term. Areas that are developing, areas that roads are going to, fast developing neighborhoods, and put gas station there. And kind of know the kind of people who will be living there, right? Because your normal Tesla driver and this and that, they don't really care about gas station. They don't even want to go there. They want to just stop by the side of the road and have it beginning come with it, the gas in the jar and fill the car in there out. So as I'm saying, there's a lot more research you have to do. So certain areas, people are more concerned with stopping at a gas station because they trust the gas station. It's more reliable compared to the beginning trying to pour gas in your car because those guys can mix the gas with other material, other thing. Maybe they add not water per se, but like they add diesel, like they mix it with something to make more money out of it, right? So most people that drive good cars in Liberia would like to go to the gas station. They come in there, they test you out, and they don't think too much about it. They're driving really old cars, they don't think too much about that. So again, that's what I'm saying. You have to do research in that area. You can't just say, oh, gas station is a good idea. You build a gas station somewhere, nobody cares about gas station. You have to build it in areas where people are developing, people are like a middle income people, good cars, driving people, and things like that who are more conscious about where to get gas. Right? So there it is. And also, I'm still answering Jay Bala question. So Jay also said several restaurants. Restaurant is not a bad idea. It's a little played out. Restaurant will be very low on my list as far as places to open, unless your restaurant is going to be so unique. These are the things that if you're going to open in Liberia, you need a good amount of money for initial investment. You need a good amount of money for initial investment. You can't just open a regular restaurant that looks like everybody else's restaurant. Your restaurant has to have a competitive advantage, something that's unique to you and what you do that's going to draw people there, right? It has to have some other elements of sociability, meaning like it has to have something that socially people want to be a part of, right? Something that, let's say like for instance, right, nowadays most people open businesses that has an Instagram feature, right? Something that people would like to snap at Instagram. People will go there specifically because they want to post it on Instagram and things like that, right? One of the most famous restaurants ever in Africa. It's in Zanzibar, I believe, and it's a restaurant on a rock. That restaurant is so famous, and the food is ridiculously expensive because it's the most famous picture on Instagram. You see the restaurant on the rock. Everybody wants to go there because they want to get their Instagram pictures there too, right? So if you go to do a restaurant in Liberia, you have to have something like that, something that's unique, something that people want to go there, other than just the food, to supplement, right, for maybe your set menu and things like that. Because there's a lot of restaurants already in Liberia, and also you have to do a lot of research in what area to build it. Because certain areas you build a restaurant, people don't care. Again, like I said, people don't care about eating and sitting in nice places. They just want to get their food and get out. They want to spend at least amount of money. They don't care about meat. They play the serving in. They don't care about the branding and all that stuff. They don't want to eat and go, right? So a lot more research got to do. All these businesses are not bad, but it takes a little more research. All right, so that's Jay Bala question I just answered. Let's go over to, let's see. Sarah Lee. Sarah Lee said Starling just used it in the mountain of Jamaica. It's amazing. Exactly. See, so like I said, Starling. That answered the question somebody asked. They want to move to Liberia. They want to work from home. If they can do that based on internet. So like I said, again, Sarah Lee just also confirmed that, right? Starlink is a great initiative now that any part of the world you can go to, right? You can get fast internet. Like I said, again, it is a little bit more expensive, but if working from home is your thing, it's worth it, right? Because I mean, $150 to however many dollars you spend per month for that, it's gonna be worth it because you can have fast, reliable internet in Liberia without having to worry about relying on, Orange and Lone Star. Those are not that bad, but I've been to Liberia so many times. So I've had great experiences where it was mind blowing. My most recent visit was like, what the? I mean, I was frustrated. I could not get it right, the internet, right? And I had to like literally just not do my YouTube work the entire time because I just wouldn't work. So Starlink is a global one. They use the satellite. It's more advanced. It's not based in Liberia, none of that. So it's global. So you can also look into that for those who are asking about reliable internet in Liberia if you're looking to relocate or go over there to work. Let's go to Levi Reed. I'm looking for multiple retail spaces available for rent. Want to build a franchise of restaurants. Is that available? If so, what city? Okay, so multiple retail spaces. Now, Levi, so you're looking for multiple retail spaces in one area, like a strip, or your franchise basically meaning you build it in different areas, right? Like different cities. I guess that's kind of what you mean. So, yeah, you can either when Jay Bala mentioned real estate, I mentioned commercial spaces, restaurant building and stuff. This are commercial spaces. That's what I'm saying, right? There's not a lot. Most of us Liberians who are getting into real estate are just building apartment buildings, apartment units, and guest houses. Not a lot of us are building commercial spaces. Not a lot. Those who are building commercial spaces are building it for themselves to sell, right? So that's where we need to get into. Those who are then we're getting into real estate to get into commercial spaces because just like Levi, a lot of people are looking for spaces to lease or rent. Not everybody want to build. Some people want to get their business off the ground running pretty quickly, right? So that's the thing. So it's not that many that I know of. It's not that many that I know of. You can certainly ask around. I mean, I can recommend a few. Like if you send me an email, I can send you a link to a website actually that has a lot of spaces. If you just send me an email at redvisionco, co at gmail.com, I can send you a link to a website. I forgot the name of it. I would have just said it on here, but I have to go back and check. I'll send you a link. And that site has a lot of retail spaces for lease and renting as well, so you can kind of check. Maybe you can then get a hold of one of the owners, and then they can guide you to see, hey, I know other people that own retail spaces that you can then rent, right, and stuff like that. So let's go to the next question from Levi. Said that what about a soft service ice cream shop, some equivalent to Dairy Queen style shop? Now, great question. Also, there is two that I know of in fairly close proximity in the city. Now, the thing about Liberia is the country is so concentrated in one area. Everybody's in the city of Monrovia and things like that. That your business, certain type of business, I mentioned this on my live the other day. Certain type of businesses just has to also be in the Monrovia area. Unless you're doing, like I said, unless you're doing manufacturing, production stuff, you can go all the way out, enjoy your free land and big land and everything, nice everything, all that stuff, congestion free, everything for your business. But if you're doing service, self-service business like that, you have to be in the city. Now, there's still, again, all of these will boil down to your competitive advantage. They can boil down to what you're gonna do different, right, than other people. There are two ice cream shops in Liberia, fairly nice and modern, beautiful. I've been to both of them itself. Nice ice cream. I mean, the variety is like this much, and people are there a lot. And the ice cream is expensive for Liberia, right? We're spending the same amount of money we're spending that we buy ice cream here in the States. So they're pretty good at making money, right? So if you're gonna do that, now you gotta find an area. Of course, the city is big, Monrovia is big. Other part of the city that you can do the same and do something a little unique, but it's not a bad business idea because even though I mentioned I've seen two, is in a close proximity, and that means everybody got to go way over there to get it. So you can go to other parts of the area that you can do an ice cream shop, other developing area too. So if this is a short-term plan for you or longer-term plan, you can look for a developing area and be the only person to do that, or look for other areas that's already existing and establish your business there. But you just gotta do a little market research and that. But the idea of the business itself is not a bad idea at all. That's something that's more and more people want to partake in. People love ice cream in Liberia. People want to enjoy themselves, right? They want to go places that's nice and get something different that I wouldn't get every day. So it's not a bad idea. Sarah Lee said in Jamaica, okay, in Jamaica it was discounted $50 per month and device $400. Oh, okay. So you buy the device for $400 and pay $50 a month. So you see, there you go, Skylink, there it is. You can definitely do that. Tim said Starlink isn't available as yet, but is scheduled in the future. So what do you mean, Tim? Oh, so wait, Starlink. Saying Tim, you're saying Starlink is not available. Um, so you're saying Starlink is not available, as in the service is not available. I mean, I know people who are already using it. So just can you clarify that? So Tim also said, I want to help start a business to eliminate all the plastic waste and convert it into sellable fuels. Not a bad idea at all. So now that's a great idea, Tim. One, the human capital. Human resources are in abundance in Liberia. Now, I've also have similar business idea I'm going to work on in the future. Reusing plastic to do sellable materials. Other sellable materials that has to do with building and household materials or daily usage, right? Great initiative. There are plastic waste everywhere in Liberia, and an abundance of people who have nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do. Just walk around, sit around, begging for money and things like that. Establishing some business, such businesses, opening a nice plant, big plants and stuff like that, and using that, you will have people who can gather these plastic waste from all over the city and bring them to you. You can probably have a transportation or a site where they come and bring it in each area. Since transportation, people don't really drive in Liberia, so you have like multiple hubs around the city that people can drop it off, and you have a nice truck. You go around and pick it up and do that. You can have people do that daily and every day. That's something that recycling is not something that's done in Liberia, right? It's not like, oh, people are recycling and then they're taking the bottles to a centralized location. It's just everywhere. Meaning, there's a great opportunity for people in the neighborhood to go ahead and pick up those plastic waste. And again, labor is cheap in Liberia. It's either they get a little small thing to bring the plastic out or don't get anything at all. You will realize that quickly that you have so many people who are bringing you plastic that you probably won't have anywhere to keep them. So that's not a bad business idea. It's a really good business idea. Now, as far as fuel, I'm not sure what initial kind of like thing that go into, that whole fuel transmission. I feel like it sounds like a bigger, like a big task and something that would need some good investment. Or maybe it could be a simple machineries that you can use to do. I'm not sure, but the idea of the business is not bad at all. That's for sure. Tim said, also I'd like to build and establish alternative energy company using both wind and solar power to create stable power grid. Again, amazing idea. That's something that Liberia needs like badly. Any kind of reusable power that you can sell that's going to be reliable, people are going to hop on it, people are going to get it, people want it, right? People spend money for fuel and for the generator every day anyways, so if that's something that's going to be reliable that it can have, trust me, that's an amazing business if you can pull it off. That's not something you're ever gonna be short of customers with, right? So definitely for sure that's not a bad idea. So I was so happy to see the increase in Airbnb places to stay in Liberia. People want to travel solo and not depend on how family. Exactly. So like I said, there's a lot of places like even the link I'm talking about. Um, there's a lot of Airbnbs on there too. So it was, it. Like I said, it's just that we Liberians we don't advertise a lot. We don't like promote on social media and things like that, so people don't really know. But there is a lot. There is a lot of Airbnb and things in Liberia that people can use and travel and go solo. So it's actually a good thing, and also the number of places that are being built for. I mean, now the thing though is, I've researched some of them. Of course, as far as being affordable, I mean, compared to other places and stuff, but it is coming. At least, like you said, you can go ahead and you don't have to rely on your family and stuff. You just go ahead and stay there. So not a bad idea. Let's see here. Levi said, I visited Liberia twice last year. I had multiple meetings with the mayor of Kakata in Margibi County. He suggested things that was needed in the city was tow truck service, garbage pickup, chicken. Yeah. One of the first videos I ever made on this channel years ago was tow trucks. I've been Liberia, back to Liberia like, I don't know, countless of times. I still haven't seen a tow truck in Liberia. Probably I feel like because two people actually reached out to me and said they have that, they established it. I just haven't seen it, but not a bad idea. Now, like I said, the first time I made this video, I said this, right? I said this. The tow truck business would be a lucrative business if the city is involved. City and the municipality is involved. Like as far as city ordinance and things like that. Here's why I say this. A car will break down in Liberia on the road. And they will fix the car right on the road. The car can break down in the middle of the road. These guys literally come there and the traffic will be crazy. People trying to get around them. They're laying down under the car in the middle of the road fixing the car. Now, you have a tow truck company. You can tow the car out of there. But here's the thing. Because there isn't an ordinance, there isn't a city law or code that says, look, because here in Minnesota, in America, your car break down the road, you have like, I don't know, a couple hours to get it out. Or else it's going to be towed by the city. So people will have it towed themselves, right? Because if it's towed by the city is going to impound it. And then you got to go and pay money to get it out and pay to tow it out of there. So in Liberia, if the car breaks down the road, there's no city ordinance or anything like that. So if you offer a tow service to get the car out of there, these guys will be like, nah, man, I'll just keep the car red, we don't fix it red. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll be like, I'll just leave the car on the road here. They don't care about the traffic that's happening and people can get to work, all that stuff. They'll be like, it's okay, man. I don't pay $2 to get a car from the mechanic. The mechanic will come red and fix the car in the middle of the road. But if there are ordinance and things like that where people can be penalized for leaving their car and fixing the road, then there'll be motivation for them to get the tow, right? So it's a little tricky. The tow company thing's a little tricky. The only thing I can say, like I said, man, is for like people who are living a little bit higher standard of living, driving nicer car and stuff like that, they are concerned about leaving their car on the road and things like that, and they may order tow services. But you would think for the amount of cars that break down in Liberia, a tow truck would be a great business. It is, but it could be a better business if the city was involved, the municipality, the county or the state or whatever it is involved. All right, so Tim said I'll be back in Liberia in August. That's what's up, Tim. I'll probably meet you over there. Let's jump up to the questions now. So let's go to the answers. So I'll go through here. So I posted last week. I said, please comment below a business you want to start in Liberia that you want me to give an insight on, or if you'd like to know if it's a good business idea or not. So these are the comments that I have. So I'll start from the top. Bill Smith 7498. Bill Smith said, thanks for the work you do in Miami, in Mama, Liberia. I'd like to know about rubber business in Liberia. Rubber business. Okay, it's a tough one. Now, we all know the rubber giant in Liberia. it's always a tricky thing to compete with a giant, right? A company that's have a stronghold of a certain business sector, right? So if you're gonna do rubber business in Liberia, of course, first of all, if you think about planting rubber tree to harvest it, you know rubber takes a long time. Like it takes a long time to grow and to harvest, right? I mean, not significantly long, but a longer time. So it's a little bit longer period. So you can definitely do that. Now, as far as the logistics, transportation, your vendors, most of these people who would need rubber in Liberia, they already have a relationship with the biggest rubber company in Liberia. That's probably might give them a better deal unless you can offer a better deal. But then I don't know how much profit you will make to compete with the big guys and how much you'll be able to supply to keep up with, let's say, a client's demand in order to knock out the big guys, because those big guys can supply however many at a good rate. So you as a smaller company, unless you're coming in with a good amount of money, a couple millions, rubber business is not bad. Now, that's one business model. You can do another business model where you're doing rubber business and selling it to local vendors who are using it for local household goods, buckets and things like that, and all of that stuff, right? Then it's not a bad idea, right? Or you yourself, you're doing a rubber business and you're doing the planting and the manufacturing of rubber goods and things that you want to make with the rubber. So, rubber business is not a bad idea. It's a tricky one because it's a big gun in Liberia already. It's going to be hard to, obviously, you don't have to beat the competition. You can be the small guy in the big pond and also provide to your specific niche, you know, your target audience. But it's a little bit tricky. So let's go back. So the next person here said, that's Samuel. Okay. Happy Friday to you. I want to open a pharmacy, but I want to do OTC, which is over the counter. I want to do OTC and multivitamins. Okay. I also want to open up a child care center. And last but not least, I want, of course, to sell food. And is Margie a good area? I guess me and Margie a good area. What do you think? Okay, Samuel. So, first thing Samuel said, I want to open a pharmacy. All right. Pharmacy. There is a lot of pharmacies in Liberia. A lot. Every area has a pharmacy. Now, if you're going to open a pharmacy in Liberia, here's the thing, right? Every time, again, every business, you just got to figure out your audience, your target audience. Because here's the thing. Number one is you're going to be most likely importing drugs, obviously, importing your drugs and stuff from places. Are you going to sell local drugs in Liberia? Like the drugs that the locals are used to, the cheaper ones from like other countries, like the Pakistan, the India, and things like that, right? Those cheap drugs that we all know of. Or you're going to sell drugs from, let's say, America, the States, those more advanced drugs and things like that. This is going to be a little more expensive. If a person in the community goes to the drugstore, right, and they can buy the quinine or penicillin or whatever these local drugs are for 30% less than your American drug, even though your American drug is probably more safer and more powerful, they're used to the other drugs that's been working for them. They're probably gonna buy the cheaper one. However, like I said, nowadays establishing businesses has to do a lot with branding and planning. So if you establish your pharmacy and your target and your competitive advantage is, look, I'm gonna sell really advanced drugs, safe drugs, but to a specific type of people. So now you gotta research what area those people live in, right? Market research. You gotta do a market analysis. What are people buying? What is working for people? What are people's complaints? What are people lacking? You do that, right? And then, obviously, the location, right? So, like I said, there are pharmacies that works and make money in Liberia because those pharmacies, they are known for selling safer drugs and things like that. But they are in an area where people care about things like that. They are in an area where the median income is higher than other areas. So those people are more health conscious. Other places, they don't care. They just give me anything. Like, you can just give someone a drug certificate and drink it and you get what people take it. They don't care. They don't look at the bag and ask what kind of drugs this is, what can they do? No. So, the pharmacy in Liberia will have to do a lot more planning, and you have to build in an area where you have to educate more, do more education, create a brand for yourself. People should, when people hear pharmacy name, they should know that's where you buy safe American, let's say American drugs. That's where people come for safe American drugs. Because I'll give you an example. One thing that was really hard. Can you guys hear me? Is that I'm low? Can you hear me? Should I talk louder than this? Am I low? Should I yell? Um, but one place, I guess I go high and low. So I was saying, yeah, one thing that was really hard to find in Liberia was actual Tylenol, Advil, these medicines that we're used to here in the States. So your target audience has to be people who are either diaspora Liberian, people who are exposed to the kind of medicine, people who they have the funds and resources to afford that. So it's not a bad idea, but like I said, your branding has to be good. People have to know that's what you're good at. That's where people go to get safe drugs, and you have to build in the right area. Because other than that, you can build a nice pharmacy in an area, beautiful, clean looking, nice, raw, reliable drugs and safe drugs. But people are still gonna go walk a little bit further down to buy the cheaper medicine that they're used to. They've been taking since they were born. So there's that. Let me go back to the next one. So I'm answering the same question. Pharmacy to sell over the counter, like a multivitamin. So the multivitamins is tricky also, again, in the sense that people really don't care about multivitamins in Liberia. Another thing too is because a lot of the foods and fruits that people eat in Liberia has these things, right? In America, because of our work-life balance, you work all the time, getting fresh groceries is a little more expensive and things like that. You're always gonna go. People take multivitamins to replace that. You know, vitamins is basically just artificial way of getting substances from a natural thing. So almost any vitamin you can get it in nature. You can get it in food, fish, meat, fruits, all of that stuff. You can get it there. And all of those things are in Liberia, right? So for a person, a family to take money to buy multivitamins to get substances that they're already eating, it's going to be a little tough. Again, education. People have to know the benefits of multivitamins. A lot of people do not know and do not care about that, right? So it's a little tricky, like I said, a little tricky. You have to find certain areas to do that in and establish that business. But it's not so much of a good business idea unless you get the right area, a right branding. You make sure everybody knows that's where you buy safe drugs, American-made drugs, and people will come to you for that. That for sure, that will work. All right, so let's answer the last part of the question, which is child care center. All right, all of these things again have to do with the area. Child care center is, we all know our culture, our society in Liberia. You leave your child with your auntie, your cousin, your sister, plenty of people live in your yard, you leave your child there. However, like I said, if you go towards the city, in town, town area places, more and more people are working, more and more businesses are opening in Liberia. So there are a need for more and more people to leave their children to where they can they're safe, they get educated, they get fed, and things like that. So it's not a bad idea, like I said, but all of these has to be in certain area. It has to be, unfortunately, in Monrovia area, Cinco, in town, that kind of area. Because when you start to go out, more and more of those people are entrepreneurs. Everybody have a little business around their home. You wouldn't need to take your child to a child care center. If you're selling at home, your child can be with you at home until they get to an age where they gotta go to school. Right? It's only the working class, and all of those working class are in the city. People are not going to regular jobs when they get out of the city. They're just selling. And when you're selling, you leave your child with the family, or you take your child back with you. Right? But those are like more lower class, not lower class, but lower income neighborhoods and areas. But again, not a bad business idea if you just get the right area and right connection and target your niche. It's going to be a handful of people that you're going to target. It's not going to be the general population. The general population don't utilize childcare, right? So again, people, social media and internet is a powerful tool. if you're gonna do a child care, you establish your brand, who you are, you have a nice facility, and you put it out there on your Instagram, Facebook. You target people who care about that. Those are the people who have data anyways. Those are the people who have data to be looking at their phones. Those are people who scroll on the internet. Those are people who are maybe middle class Liberians, working class, returning Liberians, diaspora Liberians, and things like that that you can target. There are a few childcare services really good in fancy and everything, and they make money. So not a bad idea again, but you have to fit in where other people already have that services going on. Every business, like I mentioned, you need a competitive advantage, something that makes you stand out, and that work. Now, more and more people are need childcare every now and then. This number is increasing little by little. The niche is pretty small still, but there's a slide you can get into. But when I'm talking about a very lucrative business that work for the general population, childcare is not one of them, right? So if you look for businesses where like I need to establish a business in Liberia, I need to make money, I need to get rich. Those are not businesses that will make you because it's targeted a very small niche. You want to do businesses that literally target the entire general population, right? Somebody asked, I think I'm gonna do this here. Like even I mentioned before, just selling water, pure water, bag water. You have a nice bag water plantation, not plantation, but a factory. There's a lot of companies that make bear water, but like if you establish a bear water company, bigger one, maybe sell it a little bit cheaper right now, or people know that it's safer, or your process, you're still gonna make a lot of money. Because again, those are not a business where you gotta target a niche. Almost everybody uses drink bear water, the general population. Even those who decide to drink only bottled water, if they know that this bear water is safe and it's purified, all of that stuff sanitized, they don't mind uh, drinking the bad water. So, and that targets the entire population. So let's see here. Tim said this will provide water supply to private property, especially in rural areas. Is this a viable need in Liberia? Tim said also know manual well drilling rig that can be operated by a 4-man crew. Is capable of drilling up to 300 feet within 2 to 4 hours borehole. That's not a bad business idea. It's a great business idea, especially with the low number of crew that it needs and the shorter time frame. You can definitely do that. There are a lot of people building properties and things like that. Borehole is one of the services we are utilizing when we're building our home because again, you want to have your own water source in the compound. So not a bad business idea at all. That's something you can definitely utilize, especially with the low number of crew and the short period of time that you can do that. So not a bad. I actually think it's a good idea. So let's go back to answering the questions from last Friday. Okay, so I've answered Samuel's question. I've answered all of that, and childcare, and of course selling food. Again, I've already addressed selling food, the area, things like that, and the last question for Samuel was Margibi. Is Margibi a good area to live? Margibi is a good area. That's obviously where Marshall and all these other places is. So it's a great area actually. Most people tend to live in lower Margibi, so closer to Monrovia itself and Monserrate itself. I mean, so upper Margibi going towards the other side. Now you're going towards Bon County and things like that. It's still good, but it's lower population. Depending on if you want more for quiet life, peaceful and things like that. Yeah. But if you want a little bit of a mixture, a little bit quiet, but a little bit population, then you come to a lower Margibi, because that's closer to Monserrate, which is, of course, the most populated county. Okay, so Carolyn, I'm so bad at names. Caroline says Songwriting School. My daughter is a songwriter and has written over 65 songs, hits after hit. She will be the help to Liberian music industry. Only 12 years old. Okay. So as a business idea, Songwriting School. I would say I don't have enough information to determine if it's a good idea or not. But just from personal experience and what I'm seeing, it's more of a novelty. Meaning, it's more of a thing that you do because you love it and it's bringing you some money, but you love the process, the passion, you're helping people. It's not a business idea. It's not a business where you're gonna make a lot of money and expand and things like that. It's more of a business where you hold dear to your heart, you do it, and sometimes you make some money, sometimes you don't make some money, but you love the process, you're helping people and things like that. So songwriting, because most of the songs in Liberia, the ones that I hate, it's not so much of the cadence and the writing style. It's just whatever popular saying that's happening in Liberia. You put it together, one or two, you put a nice beat behind it, that makes it hate. Now, if you want to make songs, again, that's being local. If you want to make songs that can, yeah, is it open? Oh, dang! Come on in.
I didn't know if anybody was here tonight.
Oh no, I'm just doing a YouTube live.
Okay.
You have somebody coming?
I do.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Is that
Like
okay?
pretty quick.
Honestly.
Am I gonna be disturbing anything?
No.
Okay.
I'm just doing their makeup.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell them to keep it down.
All right. So let's see here. So in that case, then it's not that great of a business idea per se. Now, unless if you're trying to go international, you're trying to go to make hits that can be played all over the world. Then yes, but then right now that's not so much of a market in Liberia, right? All right, so let's go to the next one here. So Naomi said we should see him. Okay, Naomi said grow corn and raise chicken and own transportation company. All three, great idea. Growing corn, great idea. Raising chicken is great idea. That is obviously any kind of poultry, business, farming, great idea. A lot of people just not doing it. I don't understand why, but great idea. Raising chicken, there's a huge need. People eat chicken every day in Liberia. It's being sold every day. Have a nice poultry farm. You can sell this chicken if it's nicely grown and fed and things like that, and you're taking care of your chicken and stuff. You can supply restaurants. You can sell to local market people and things like that. Not a bad idea. Corn also definitely a great idea. You cannot go wrong with those kind of businesses. Transportation company, it depends on what kind of transportation. Just to make it simple, get into transportation that has to do with construction materials or transporting goods, not so much passenger or this and that and that and that. Mostly goods, longer distance, stay on the highway, longer distance and things like that. That's not bad. Longer life of your car, and also more people who are transporting goods and services, a little more money that you charge for that and things like that. All right, we're going down to New Breed said, no, not New Breed. Okay, the last one I have here is from Quinn. Quinn Ayo said, menstrual supply company. So like maybe selling tampons and things like that. Yeah, not a bad business idea. Again, you have to do it within the city. More and more people are looking for those kind of services, and younger women in Liberia, middle age, and women in Liberia are looking for better sanitary, ways to take care of themselves, right? Right now, people are just what they're using is not that great, and I hear it. I did even a podcast with a lady who also mentioned that. So not a bad idea, but again, you're gonna have to brand and educate and use social media most of the time for what you're doing as well. So those are not bad at all. So let's see here. A few more from Jerry. Jerry said opening a tricycle business in Liberia. How much can I be able to make at the end of the month as a Nigerian? All right, Nigerian. Jerry Hackman. Tricycle. What is it? Oh, like one of those. What is a tricycle? I know what it is. Like the 3-tire bicycle thing, right? You're gonna have to target tourists with that one. A lot of people are not riding tricycle in Liberia. Is it more of a like the ones that, because there are some that people used to transport little smaller goods, right? Let's say you buy a refrigerator, a smaller one, and you transport it. You can get a little motorcycle, not a motorcycle, but a tricycle one, right? And they can transport goods and service. You can do that in an area if that what you're talking about, or it's more of a leisure, like kind of like bicycle and things like that. Most people don't really, for pleasure, buy it. As far as a business idea, you can buy it personally, but not so much like a business. Unless if you're talking about the ones that transport goods and service, like the one with the actual, motor that you can use to transport. So it's okay. I wouldn't put that on my top 10 list as far as businesses in Liberia to do. So Chelsea said, by just looking at similar countries and the climate in Caribbean and other Africans, we can great idea on businesses that work in Liberia. Yeah, that's for sure. You can definitely utilize other businesses in other area and bring the same idea to Liberia that works. The same kind of climate, same kind of thing, so that'll be pretty similar. So tricycle, all right. So I think I've gotten through all the questions. Just want to see again. I guess I kind of want to keep these at 1 hour. Usually, I go pretty much all evening. So 1 hour every time will be a good time to answer these questions from you guys. So if you have any other questions, let me know. I'm approaching the 1 hour here pretty much in the next 5 minutes. So just let me know. Jerry also said, as a Nigerian, can I come to Liberia to do Uber driving? You definitely can. The Uber service itself is not it's not permanent. It's not something that people utilize a lot, and also it has to be in a certain area. Now they have let me see what's going on with this. Oh, there we go. So they have a taxi service. It's called Man Cab that you can call and people, you can take people places. But the Uber thing itself wouldn't, that business model itself don't work, because of course Uber utilizes people going on the app and telling their location and things like that. None of those things. There's no geotagging. There's none of those things in Liberia. The coordinates and all of that the Uber app will work. So the only way that business model will work is unless you do something like a Man Cab, where you have a service that people know of. They call you and they direct you to where they want you to pick them up from, and you go there and do it. But not so much of an app-based service, because the app, you need to load up the GPS in there, and the GPS have to find where the people are and things like that. And if somebody is in their home way in Oro, the GPS is not gonna be able to give you direction to get to them or anything like that, right? But you can establish a private ride sharing service that people can know about. You stay in an area where, for instance, when we stay in Cinco, when we go out, sometimes we don't want to drive. You can call My Cab, or you call it a ride sharing service, and come pick you up. So it's not a bad business idea, but not so much of like the Uber model. It has to be more of a call me kind of thing model. I'll pick you up, and maybe you have a online or app that people can book. You get the notification and you call them and direct you. So that's good. Jerry said also tricycle means keke. Oh, okay. So the keke service, not bad. Like I already answered this before. It's something that not so much of a business model that you will want to do, as far as maybe not living in Liberia or looking as an investment kind of thing. It's more of a people who are living in Liberia and need daily cash flow. The only way it's going to be a viable business where you're making a good amount of money, unless you buy like 25 to 50 keke, right? And then every month you bring a lot of money, but you have 1 or 2 keke. You bring a good amount of money every month, okay money that you can be able to, have money to survive all your daily food and your living expenses can be taken care of a little bit. But that's just about it, right? It's not so much of like, okay, I'm gonna get a lot of money from here and start using it to build other businesses and stuff. No, it's just, and those things are gonna break down pretty quickly because they don't stay on the road always. They get off the road and things like that. So the lifespan of them, the operation life cycle of them is short because of things like that, right? And like I mentioned on my other life, because of the traffic and things like that, these people, their rounds are shorter, right? So they're not moving as quickly as they should to make more money. They've been stuck in traffic most of the day, so they're making a little bit less money, right? So it's not a bad idea, but like I said, it's a business idea where you already have other businesses going on, and you just need a daily cash flow business in Liberia, and then you do Tricycle and KK. But it's not that. So really said, how much is the Man Cab service? The Man Cab service is $5, $5 to get a ride in the area. Usually within maybe, 10 miles radius or something, but you can't go that far. And then obviously you pay $10, $15 sometimes if you're a little ways out, but it's $5, $5 right in the area, in the Cinco area. If you need to go out a little ways, $10 to $15, which is not that bad, right? It's a lot of money for people in Liberia. It's not so bad if you're maybe making some good money or a tourist or whatever it is, and you can utilize that service. So it's not bad. And the good thing about it, you can call them pretty much any time of the night, and they have a few drivers that can come to you and get you, stuff like that. So Do the man can pick up at the airport. Do the man can pick up at the airport. I'm not sure what that means. Sarah, what does that mean? I'm not sure. But anyways, oh, okay, smart. Oh, smart man. I remember smart man from the other live that I did. So welcome back, smart man. But yes, guys. So those are the businesses I went over. Please again, just participate in these. I'm gonna post. I usually post it on YouTube as well. So I encourage you guys to just comment so that at least when I come back on live, I come with something. Oh, do my cab pick up at the airport? No. So they do not pick up at the airport. They're usually in the city, Cinco, Duplo, Oro area. Yeah, they don't pick up at the airport. So there are other services though that do pick up at the airport. And when you go to the airport, they have banners that have the names of the. No, I may be wrong. I've never seen the mount cap at the airport. I know they pick up just shorter distances in the area, but I've seen a cab service banner. It may or may not be my cab. I don't think it's my cab, but it's a banner when you arrive at the airport. It's a banner there you can call. But there are also a lot of cars outside, right there on the airport, private cars that can drop you to where you're going. They're parked outside, not taxis, but like private, cars, ride-sharing cars that are parked outside. A handful of them. When you come outside, they'll ask you, do you need a ride? Do you need a ride? They take you, right? Or there's a banner you call and they come and get you. But Mount Cap itself, I'm not sure they can do that. Jerry, how much can a ticket driver earn per month? The driver or the owner? The driver itself, I'll probably say anywhere between 30 to 50 US dollars, depending on how many rounds you make, what areas you're in. But that's the top of the line. So most ticket driver will make about $10 per day. So that's about 10. So that's about, let's say on average, 250 US dollars a month. The ticket owner is probably gonna pay you 50 US dollars a month. So it's not bad. But I would say on average about 200 US dollars a month that you make from your ticket. Which again, like I said, if you're living in Liberia, that's good cash flow, right? That's take care of all your groceries and things like that every day. So you have another business, but you have a cash flow business that, if anything, that business is not doing so well, you have a business that bring you cash every day, like I mentioned. If you're gonna be in Liberia, you're gonna live in Liberia, you need a cash flow business. Other than your big store you have, your this or that, get a few of these other things, okay? One or two things that can bring you physical cash every day. So you have a cash flow. Every day you have physical cash coming in that you can buy one or two things. Or even sometimes help buy a small thing for your bigger business, right? So you can still do that. So what if the private driver cut off my neck? Then I mean that's what it is. Hopefully that's why a lot of people don't use that service. But I mean hopefully you're not going alone, or if you're going alone, it's better you call maybe the services from the airport. That's why they have that service there, right? Their drivers are the noon company. The drivers are there and everything's the new company, so they come and get you. Yeah, it is a little bit of a risk from the private cars out there because nobody really monitors. There's no regulation service out there that tracks them and stuff like that. So it's not that. Really. So if you need to go to a store and MyCap, do they charge each way 5 USD and back? So yes, so that's good question. So they do charge $5 per trip. So if you're going somewhere, they charge you $5. You're coming back, they charge you $5. So it's $5 per trip. Now, if you're going just right here, you know what I mean, like a couple miles, maybe they'll do the $5 to go and get you back, but it's $5 per trip. So each way you go is $5 for the MyCap. Yeah. So let's see here. Okay, but anyways, that's what I have, guys, for today. Again, just gonna want to go over the business idea, answer some of your questions. Most of these live will be real estate based, because again, that's the number one thing I get everybody asking about building in Liberia and questions like that. Also, our company is up and running, right? That I help with all of these things. We're redoing the website to be more faster and take more, because a lot of people are going on there, want to make sure it's fast enough. But I've posted before. I'm gonna put the link if you're looking to get into real estate business or looking to skip the trying to build a home and all of that stuff. We are actually building an estate. Now it's almost sold out. The homes are almost sold out. We're in the construction process, but the homes are starting from 29,000 and up, right? And those are vision estate. You guys have met, you've heard me say it before. But also, if you're looking to buy litigation-free land, if you're looking to buy land without a hustle, you know land buying is dangerous. I've made so many videos about that. So the past few years, we've been really putting a reliable, trustworthy business together that people can really rely on. Because again, I'm on here on this platform. I'm right here in the public eye. So the business, any business that we do, it has to be 100% like legitimate and no hiccups, no issues. So that's why it took us a little longer time to actually establish this business, because we had to go through so many different vetting process and making sure everything is good before we even say a word. So if you're looking to do that, let me know. You can always send an email, like I said, to redvisionco@gmail. Let me know what you need me to assist you with. Either it being buying land, because we do have land for sale up to 50 acres in Grove area. That's where we're focusing now. That's where we're building our phase 3 of our estate and things like that. All of the information is coming. The videos on all the estate is coming. I'm bringing everything up. But I just want to, like, again, I just want to make sure everything is tight and good. And it's user friendly. Everything is very easy. So we do that. A lot of what I do also, like you guys have seen, that I posted house plans and stuff. We're changing the landscape of Liberia, how people are building, how the houses look. You guys have all said it. I've said it. We've talked about it. The way people are building Liberia right now is not the way. You know, it looks like still from back in the 60s. So people are building modern all over Africa. We have to catch up, right? So that's why my team, I put together like the best people who can do it. And on my team, our registered company in Liberia, we do that. Where we do your house plan, your design, elevation, all of that stuff. We get that done for you. As even surveying your land, we get for you. Getting your legal documents to buy land, we do that for you. It's a big company that we've established in Liberia that we've been working on for years. So let me know. Again, I haven't officially done videos for it or announced it. I'm going to post the link. I'm going to post the website. I'm going to post the video, all of that stuff. But I'm just kind of letting you guys know so that you know you'll be expecting that. I'm going to put that out soon. Jerry's asking for keke price in Liberia. Keke ranges from anywhere between, I'll say, depending on the model, from $900 to $1,400. From $900 to $1,400. There are some that goes for $2,000. There are the solo keke that goes for around that amount too. That you don't use gas and it's bigger, looks more luxurious and things like that that you can use. But the people don't like it there because they say it's not fast enough. So most people, it's not selling that well, right? So somebody said, Smartman says he's looking to buy a house on the airport road. Within the estate. Yes, so within the estate, yes, Smartman, that's what we're doing. The estate we're building is on the airport road. It's in Marshall on the highway area. It's about 3 miles off the highway inside. So that's what we're doing. Again, I'll bring more information on that. I'm gonna post all the links and all of that stuff, the website and everything, all the PDF documents, the brochures, all of that stuff has been completed. Again, I just want to make sure the website is fast enough because there was a lot of traffic when I announced it out there, and also just everything else that comes with that. Just need to make sure it's good in order for me to go and announce it. But like I mentioned, the way to own homes in Liberia will have to be through purchasing. You can build your own home, but you're gonna have to be prepared for it. You're gonna have to be prepared to be on ground. You're gonna have to be well versed in the building process, the knowledge, the cost of things and materials. You're gonna have to be project managing all of that, or paying a project managing company to manage it for you. There's a lot. So unless you're willing to do that, the best, easiest, and more convenient way of owning homes in Liberia is buying homes, for instance, in the state. Because number one, your surrounding is going to be good, right? I've seen this before everywhere in Liberia. People are building nice houses in neighborhood where, like, you got a dirty water here, the zinc shop, the sewage, the garbage dump behind your house in the area. Before you get to the house, you got to hop over. It's just not good. If you buy a home in an estate, you're in an area where the entire area is kept, it's beautiful, safe, and all of that stuff. That's how people are doing it in Ghana. That's what they're doing in Nigeria. It's just us Liberian. Everybody just want to build their own home, thinking that's the only way to go. So far, that's been the only way, but we're changing that whole dynamics by building estates, beautiful, well-kept, modern homes at an affordable rate. That you don't have to do anything. You do the contract, the purchase agreement, and we'll break the payments down for you, and you pay over time. You get your home headache-free, everything. I mean, it's in our hand. You sign your contract, it's left to us, right? Anything that go wrong, this and that, it's our responsibility. That's how you do it. That's how people build in Liberia and get frustrated. Because you start building in Liberia, they call you, oh, something happened here, oh, they this, they that, then you gotta keep putting their money, oh, this one, no. We give you the price, we sign the purchase agreement, that's about it. If tomorrow something happened or this thing happened, it's not your problem, it's ours. We have to deliver your work for you. So right now the first phase has been sold out because the houses are only 30,000. That's what people spend on vacation, right? And most people are interested in the $65,000 home. Again, we'll split the payments for you. That's 3 bedrooms, beautiful modern homes. If you follow us on Instagram, you probably would have seen us working, right? If you're not, follow us on Instagram at Vision Estate _ Liberia on Instagram. You'll see some of the work we're doing, our whole construction, all of that stuff too as well. All right, this is the last thing here. The phone dying now, so this is the last one. All right, so yeah, follow us on that and let me know. So there it is, guys. Please send me more information. I'll do that between KK and taxi, which bring more money in Liberia. I'll say, I mean, it depends. Taxi may bring more money, but KK will bring a little more money because just the fact that they get to places quicker. Taxis are being stuck a lot, and people get on KK quicker. They make more rounds and more trips. So let's see here. Please send me more information. Smart man, I will. Definitely just shoot me a quick email. visionestatesliberia@gmail.com or redvisionco@gmail. I'll send you all the information because we haven't put everything out officially yet, but I'm sending people information. A lot of people are reaching out and I'm sending them information and things like that. That's how most of the homes are already being sold out, right? And we've already started building. But there it is, guys. I mean, that's it. Been over here for over an hour. I'm gonna go home, get some food, get some rest. I'm gonna do live anytime, 1 hour live. Again, I'll post another survey, just answer that, and I'll come back on live and answer your question. Or you can just reach out directly to me as well. Or you can hit me on WhatsApp, 763-344-3624. 763-344-3624 WhatsApp. That's the easiest way. You just get to me directly. And I'll hit you back up. Usually it's good you text me and I'll just call you back. And that's what I do. I just talk to a lot of people on the phone, just answer your question right away instead of back and forth email or YouTube comment and things like that. But anyways, that's it, guys. Peace out. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. All right, I'm gonna have to reach out to my camera and stop the live. I'm at the studio here. You see the studio? There we go. All right, guys.